King in Black #1. The Arrival of Knull, the God of the Symbiotes, on Earth. The story tells how Eddie Brock tries to protect his son from the wrath of Knull. The book starts with Eddie standing on the roof, overlooking the city of Manhattan. Eddie and his symbiote can feel Knull screaming through the black, racing toward the whole of creation, with his hands wrapping around the world's throat. Knull has arrived. He changes to Venom, remarking that the evacuations will start at any second, but it is not Knull who makes Eddie skirt right now. He is worried about his son, Dylan. He is scared of waking him up into this nightmare. The boy has been through so much and deserves better than this. He deserves to be innocent and to be a child. He wished he just could let him sleep and wished his son never had to face the horrors of this world he has brought him into. He woke him up and was about to start talking about Knull's arrival when Dylan said that he could feel him. Meanwhile, at the Avengers Mountain, the Avengers are watching the screens, monitoring Earth's orbit for any sign of Knull's horde. Iron Man remarks that from the information Eddie gave them, Knull and the horde do not emit heat signatures to track, but they will trip over the landmines Tony prepared for them. Either way, by turning a leftover armada of Kree and Skrull warships floating in the atmosphere into bombs. Suddenly, thousands of symbiote dragons emerged from the depth of space and soared into the minefield, and that was when Iron Man detonated the ships and destroyed only a few hundred of the dragons. The Avengers and the Fantastic Four arrived shortly after to see as the dragons fell on the city like rain. Meanwhile, Eddie takes Dylan to a bunker, which was built to withstand a nuclear holocaust, to keep him in there until they find a way to stop Knull. Dylan, however, urges his father not to leave him there, but Eddie says that he promised Dylan that he would protect him no matter what. Eddie left Dylan in the bunker, then received a call from Captain America, who told him that it was time for Plan B, which means that Knull and his armies have landed on Earth. The first wave is ground. Captain America assembled an evacuation team of street-level heroes with a focus on electricity-based powers. They know that Knull's weaknesses are lightning, cosmic power, and maybe magic. He asked Iron Man if he received any word from Thor, but Iron Man said that he didn't receive anything. However, their heavy hitter is on the way. Meanwhile, in Washington Square Park, the X-Men have arrived and engaged the symbiotes. The second wave is up, as they need to sever the connection Knull has over his hordes as much as possible. Professor X remarked that Thor's absence might be a problem, and that's why he wrote Storm, who told him that she was trying to concentrate on fighting the dragons, noting that Thor and Storm were supposed to be the second wave. Venom makes his way towards the Spire, or the layer of dark carnage, through which he managed to control his horde when he attacked New York City. The plan was to use Thor and Storm to sever Knull's control over the symbiote dragons as much as possible, then seize control of them using the throne. Eddie, however, noticed that it might be possible that Knull would find them and kill them with their own symbiotes. Back in the battlefield, Doctor Strange reports that he has never faced anything like these dragons before, as they can easily break through his barriers, while Storm reports that she is outnumbered and can't hold them back anymore. Eddie reports that he can hear and see them, and that he is almost through to the hive core. Strange was swallowed by one of the dragons, while Eddie managed to break through the hive but reacted in horror. It is not just about Knull or the dragons. It is revealed that Knull managed to defeat and control the Celestials, his first enemies, and recruited them in his war on Earth. Nalden emerged from within the chest of the Celestial, stating that he is going to kill Earth and demanded to get the human named Brock. He then confronted the heroes, where Captain America said that usually they are the last thing villains like Knull ever see, but today they will watch as their big gun takes on Knull. Captain America then gave his permission to the Sentry to attack. The Sentry punched through the head of one of the Celestials before grabbing Knull and taking him to the edge of space to rip him the way he ripped Carnage before. The Sentry introduced himself, but Knull said that there was no need for that, as the Horde remembers him. He is the one who once killed Carnage. Shockingly enough, Knull easily overpowered the Sentry and ripped him apart, unleashing the dark entity known as the Void, which he quickly devoured, remarking that he is Knull, the god of the symbiote, the Void, and the one to whom darkness bows. Knull then ordered the living abyss covering the ground to engulf the heroes and claimed them for his army, with only Spider-Man escaping. He then engulfed the whole planet with the symbiote, stating that there will be no more sun, no more stars, and no more light. Eddie then disconnected himself from Carnage's throne and told Iron Man that he was going to give Knull what he wanted. The symbiote told Eddie that it could reach out directly to Knull, remarking that no matter what happens, it will always love him. The symbiote then connected to Knull's mind, who immediately broke into the sewers and grabbed Venom, gloating that the world of darkness he has created is much more beautiful than the light. Venom urged Knull to kill him, but Knull recognized Eddie as the host who killed Grendel. He thought that he already killed Eddie before, remarking that he should have specified that the Brock he wanted wasn't Eddie but Dylan. Knull ripped the symbiote from Eddie, remarking that he would take his child first before taking Dylan, and said that he didn't have much use for Eddie before sending him plunging towards the streets below.